Hi everyone, welcome to week 2. We survived the first week. Hopefully you all did well and got your work done. I know that a few of you maybe took a few more days to actually get going and start understanding what we were all doing. But hopefully at this point you're all getting the hang of it. We've got 1 week in, and really this week we've only got 3 days. So only 3 days of learning this week because of Easter break, and we would have had Thursday and Friday off of school anyway. So we still get Thursday and Friday off. And then you get next week Monday off also. So that's kind of nice. Remember to keep reaching out to me if you have questions. Email me, jump on my Zoom calls, all of that, so that if you have questions, I can answer them. So let's move on to today. We are going to learn today about volume of cylinders. It is April 6th. So we're going to keep going with volume of cylinders. Remember, a cylinder is similar to a prism, except for cylinders are round. They have a circular base. So that base of a cylinder is always going to be a circle, okay? It will not change. That circle will always be there. It may be bigger, it may be smaller. The height is always going to be this distance in between the two circles. That was a terrible line. Okay, so for volume of cylinders, the formula is exactly like volume of prisms. So volume, V for volume, equals capital B times H. Remember, the capital B, just like for prisms, is the area of the base, and the H is the height of the cylinder. Okay, so let's try this. Now you're going to want to get a calculator to help you out. So if you don't have your calculator and you want to follow along, go ahead and pause this and grab a calculator. So here's our cylinder. It has a base that's a circle, so we need to find the area of the base. Now because it's a circle, we do pi times radius squared. Remember, pi is 3.14 times radius squared. 2 squared is 4. So 3.14 times 4 is 12.56. And then we have to multiply that. That's our capital B, 12.56 times 6, which is the height of the prism. 12.56 times 6 is 75.36 units cubed. Now we can round that to the nearest tenth, so 75.4 units cubed would be the volume of that cylinder. So let's try that a couple more times. Let's find the volume of this cylinder. You guys, please do me a favor and grab a notebook when you're doing your homework or something to write on so you can be writing your work down. Always start with the formula. Volume equals capital B times H. Okay, then we're going to do this in 2 parts. Start with the capital B. The base is this circle, so it's pi times radius squared. 3.14 times 8 squared. 8 squared is 64 times 3.14 is 200.96. That's only the circle. Now we have to multiply that by the height of the cylinder, and the height of the cylinder in this case is 20. So 200.96 times 20 ends up being 4,019.2 meters cubed. And there's your answer. That is the volume of the cylinder. So let's try one more like that. Again, start with the formula. I cannot stress that enough. You guys know that if we were sitting in class right now, I would tell you to write the formula down. The capital B is our circle. This time it's laying on its side. So the circle is pi times radius squared, 3.14. The radius. Remember, this line goes all the way across the circle. So what is that called? Wait for it. Yep, that is the diameter. So the radius is 4 inches. So 3.14 times 4 squared. 4 squared is 16 times 3.14 gives you 50.24. Times the height of the cylinder. Again, the height is the distance between the two bases. Now remember, this circle is laying on its side, so the height in this case is 12. So we put 12 in there. 50.24 times 12 ends up being 602.88, and we're going to round that to the nearest tenth. So 602.9 inches cubed. So that would be the volume of our cylinder. Okay, let's try one more. This time I didn't give you necessarily the picture labeled. So we have a can of vegetables that has a radius of 2 inches and a height of 4 inches. What's the volume of the can? So I'm going to sketch a little picture first. To draw a cylinder, what I like to do is just draw kind of an oval shape with 2 lines down and connect the 2 lines on the bottom. Okay, it says that the radius is 2 inches. So I'm going to label that. Right there's our radius, and it's 2 inches. And it has a height of 4 inches. So this distance right here is 4 inches. Now to find the volume, volume equals capital B times H. Okay, the capital B is the area of the base. Remember, the base is the circle. So pi times radius squared. 3.14 times 2 squared. I'm going to use my calculator. 3.14 times 4 ends up being 12.56 times the height of the cylinder. The height is 4, so we're going to multiply by 4. 12.56 times 4 is 50.24. And at this point, we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So 50.2 inches cubed. On your homework tonight, I also want you to round to the nearest tenth each time. Okay, so having that problem finished, that is where we're going to stop for today. Your homework is another Canvas quiz, so I will write that on here that your homework is a quiz on Canvas. Make sure that you're completing the quiz, and you can take the quiz as many times as you need to get them correct. If you're making mistakes and you're unable to figure out what you did wrong, you can take it again. Also remember, if you can't find your mistakes, jump onto Zoom in the mornings when I'm on and ask for help at that point in time. Okay, have a great day. See you tomorrow.